Hey folks, John back here with another video today. And this is kind of a response to some of the comments and responses I've been getting on my Why I'm Still Vegan video, which I'll put in the description if you haven't already seen it. But essentially, I've been getting some comments from obviously meat eating folks. Some of these people are doing what they think is best, living a sustainable off-grid or, just sort of low impact lifestyle. And hey, I respect that. I think that there are people who obviously care enough to be trying to do what it is that they can do to minimize their footprint. But and that's just one example. So if that person is watching, this isn't about you or anything. It's just there's been a few different people talking about various things, and most of them, the recurring theme essentially is that there's no point in doing veganism, or since veganism isn't necessarily the best thing to do from like an environmental standpoint or something like that, that we shouldn't do it. Now, of course, I don't agree with that, because even if we are living off grid and supporting ourselves and doing some hunting, we are still contributing to animal suffering. Maybe environmentally that's better than even, shipping in some grains or something like that. But I have to factor in ethics as well. But I think the biggest thing I wanted to kind of touch on was that it would appear that whenever a vegan is talking about veganism being a solution, or really even just kind of like bringing up meat eating and the detrimental effects that it has for 99% of the people who are going to be watching these videos anyway. Sure, there's some people who live off the land or do their own thing, and maybe they just come out to civilization long enough to watch a YouTube video and troll vegans. I don't know. But there's definitely a lot to be said for the double standard and the bias that happens when, let's say I were to go to somebody's social media page or Instagram post or even a YouTube video, and I were to comment, hey, have you ever considered, going plant-based? Have you ever considered veganism? Like, I see that you're struggling with X, Y, or Z, and, maybe you could do this. And if you care about this, which you've claimed in your video, then this is a logical solution for you. That seems reasonable to do, but a lot of meat eaters, a lot of non-vegans would say that, oh, don't force your beliefs, don't come onto other people's shit and try to talk them into your cultish beliefs or your opinions, or live and let live kind of deal. And I get it. Like, I understand why people are defensive of, especially when somebody's proposing something that's so far different from their everyday way of life. And I mean, hey, I was that way before, so I get it. But then when a vegan makes a video explaining why they're still vegan in response to people leaving, the plant-based lifestyle, they were obviously never vegan, but, people coming up with these no longer vegan videos. So, some of us make this why I'm still vegan video, and then you've got these non-vegans coming on your video. So same deal, coming on to a video that is nothing to do with them or their interests, and just giving their opinions on why people shouldn't be vegan, or how you should just leave those folks alone that are no longer vegan, or obviously it's not good, or blah blah blah. So it's just such a weird double standard that I see all the time. And I think the thing that gets me is that I don't understand why people would be like, hey, you shouldn't make these vegan content videos or talk about veganism on your own platform, because there's literally no harm in going vegan. So like, if I'm making a video talking about why I'm still vegan, that's not promoting any kind of a, there's no potential there for some ethical or moral issue or some environmental issue. Like, that's not hurting anybody. But yet, if someone was making a video about like why they still eat meat, well then, I mean, obviously you can make the logical argument that, well, okay, but it's not necessary, that is advocating actually causing harm. So it's not the same thing at all. It's two very different stances. And so, while I get that people are going to not agree with veganism, maybe they don't believe the scientific data or the all of the research that has been done to show the environmental effects, the potential health benefits. Again, I'm not vegan for health, but it's potential. So if you don't want to believe those things, I mean, that's fine. Like, no one can force you to believe something, but like, how is it something that you can argue against? How can you argue against veganism, against the philosophy that we should just try not to harm animals as much as we possibly can, which is like pretty good? Because the alternative, unless you're absolutely just out there, living on your own plot of land, permaculture set up, and you're doing your own thing, zero, like a carbon neutral footprint, like, okay, that's way less than 1% of the population, and certainly way, way less than, 1% of the people who are privileged enough to be watching these videos. So, but in any case, let's say that you are one of those people. Okay, fine, whatever. But why would you argue against veganism knowing that like most people don't live that way, or can't live that way, or maybe even are planning to live that way at some point, but obviously just aren't yet? Like, I can't just leave everything that I have right now and go live in the woods and start my own permaculture farm that grows all my plants and vegetables and stuff. Like, that isn't going to happen. It's not possible. I would need some startup money, which I don't have. I live in a very cold climate, so I do have food dependency on the established system, and I'm willing to admit that. But like, so does everyone else who isn't off on their own doing their thing. So okay, yeah. So here's kind of my final point on it is 99% of the people watching this video and any video promoting veganism is in a position where they are relying on the food system, the established food system. So, now Dylan, be quiet. I'm talking to YouTube right now and not you. So, let's just say that out of those 99%, a couple of them are vegan, most people aren't. So, arguing against veganism is basically saying that, hey, you couple of people who are still relying on the food system, but who aren't contributing as much damage to the environment or the animals, you're actually doing something wrong here, or you shouldn't be promoting that. Shouldn't we be outraged at the 97 or 98 people who are doing something that is completely unnecessary? So they are also requiring the established food system, but they're making the choice to purchase animal products and do things that are completely unnecessary, which cause more environmental destruction and harm to animals. Arguing against veganism is arguing in favor of unnecessary cruelty and environmental destruction. How do people not see that? It doesn't make any sense why you would go to a vegan's video and be like, dude, you're so wrong. You can't be vegan. You should blah, blah, blah. Like, I mean, fuck off, you know? Honestly. I mean, it's just so ridiculous. Like, and it's not actually that I hate you guys. I'll have conversations with people. That's fine. But like, when somebody comes in and starts ripping me, insulting me because I'm vegan in a non-vegan world, because I'm trying my best to do what I know to reduce the impact I have on this earth, until, potentially, hey, maybe I can do even better. But I certainly can't do that in cold as fuck rural Nova Scotia, Canada, with zero money and resources to just start up. Like, I can't just go squat on a piece of land in the woods and magically have a garden and food security. That's not how it works. You know, I wasn't born into that system, and I don't have the resources to create that system for myself. So, yeah. Anyway. Okay, there's my little rant. I'm still vegan and I always will be. And I will continue to advocate for the animals and for the environment. And I will comment and post on non vegan things because I want as many people as possible who are in the same situation that I am, dependent of a Western civilization and culture and established food system, to make the best choices they can under their circumstances. And that's really all veganism is, making the best choices you can for the animals, which also happens to benefit the environment and potentially yourself, that you can possibly do. Anyway, that's it. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and peace. See you next time.